Well, I had no idea. I have been so busy the last couple days, I haven't even looked at traditional news.
First comes death, then comes tears, then comes dread, then comes fear, then comes you think you know,
Kyle, are you doing Gen Con this year, bud?
but you don't.
So I'm just going to bring your patches and give them to you. Since I now have 3. 2 that were sent back.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the horror show. Fingernails on the keyboard. Leave your heart at the door. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the final show. Fingernails on the keyboard. Leave your heart at the door. Stay fucking running crazy. I was sitting in my basement, making funny faces, talking to a white TV. Static on the screen, and then I felt it, the static coming through me, and then I heard it. I heard the dead speaking to me. They said the dead will rise. The ghosts cry, welcome to motherfucking corpse It's the fusion of dark and
That's a great question. I don't know where my event is on Saturday yet.
a boiling anger in my voice. When I speak of the day my army will rise. Creeps, ghouls, leeches and fiends, clawing out from the digital crypt we built. I don't have a problem with you, but if you can't handle dark humor, then get the fuck out of my chat. This is the part where you leave. This is the part where I scream. This is the part where you leave. This is the part where I scream. This is the part where you leave.
Let's get this show on the road. What is up, everybody? Welcome to July 15th, another Corpse Talk Live. I just noticed the EQ wasn't working today, and the spectral analyzer works, but the EQ waveform that I have built isn't working today. I don't know what the fuck's going on. That's why you saw it go black for a minute there in the beginning. It has been a hella busy week for me. I am prepping for fucking everything. Everything. I have an event tonight. I have to leave here by 5:30, so this is going to be a short one today. But we have a purpose today. We're not reviewing something. Well, we're taking a first look at the Eight-Legged Queen, which is what I wrote for Shadowdark. But I am going to re-record something I already recorded for the 8 tables that are running this at Gen Con. So if you're going to be playing in the Eight-Legged Queen, you're not going to want to watch that section of this video. My goal is to get something together really clean so they know how to run it without me having to walk through it, and I can answer questions in the comments, or I can answer questions in the video. It'll stay private, or for members, I should say, only, until after Gen Con. Then I'll make it public so that people who pick it up can watch it, and then I'll also put it up for my Patreon members that have already gotten a hold of the Eight-Legged Queen. I only have one minor change, because West Marches came out, and everything else is pretty much the same. Let me know I won't have a badge. I'll probably go down midday or so. So, I'm the organizer for Eight-Legged Queen with Rage Gaming. Rage Events, I think is what it is. Do I have my glasses over here? I might have them over here. Hold on. We do. With Rage Events, we used these last year. So I will be there on Friday or Thursday. I'm running one. I can tell you actually. I'm in the chat right now. So 7 to 10 on Thursday. I'm running this 3-hour event, real clean, real tight. And then I think I'm helping on the Sunday event, which is a Cthulhu event for them. And then Saturday, I think we have Cutthroat GM. I think it got approved. I don't know what exactly is going on with that. I need to talk to Helt and a couple of the people who are putting this together. Hitchcock helped build it as well, but I think his event Saturday, so they just overlapped weird. I didn't know if we were doing Cutthroat GM this year. We talked about it, and then we submitted events, and things weren't getting through, and then finally it looks like they went through. So those will have tickets open. That's where I'll be Saturday. Knowing them, it'll probably be at 12 something. It's usually like 5 or 6 hours. It's a long one. So, if that is happening, I will be there during that. But if you don't have a badge, I'll just meet you somewhere too. Usually the Iron GM that used to take place at Gen Con was in the main facility, like in the main convention hall, but not on the showroom floor. It's usually across from it. But that's moved a few times. I don't know where the other events are taking place. I could probably look at this, actually. So, Eight-Legged Queen. Let's look at the Gen Con events here. Eight-Legged Queen is going to be at RPG 269D. That's the gamer ID. Where's the location? ICC, so the main convention hall. So that's where that's going. And I think the rest are, and I think Sunday, the Cthulhu one is there as well. Let me look at Cthulhu. Well, that's a weird event hub for Cthulhu. Cthulhu's at the JW. And that is 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So those are the two events. And today we're going over Eight-Legged Queen because I am the one who wrote it. And I want to help the GMs run it. So that's our goal today. We have a really short goal. I do have a couple other little things to look at before we dive into it. And really just one piece of news. And it's like a, hey, everybody, get it while you can, purchase news. Because that makes the most sense to me to go over today. My camera's a little low. But anyway, yeah, Kyle, if you show up on Saturday, let me know. I'll just keep it in my backpack. I do have a little show and tell for today. So every time I go before Gen Con, I usually am working with a bunch of different companies, either filming for them or doing content for them, or I am running panels or events and stuff like that. And it's a busy Gen Con. But I have... Hold on here. I have this gigantic power block. Huge. This is Intuo. What does it say? Intuo eye circuit. And this is a 26,000 milliamp. The wattage on it, it doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't have a wattage on it. I don't know, but it's huge. Like, it's solid stainless, right? And it still works. Don't get me wrong. It's still, if I charge it, it's still a functioning piece. It does 19 volt, 16 volt, and 12 volt, and you can switch between. But its plugs are a little limited. It's got a USB, and it's got some AC. So while I like this thing, it isn't going to work for half the shit I have to do now. Everything is C-type now. My phone is finally a C-type with the new iPhone, so I can't use this anymore. So I'm probably going to charge this and put it in a different pack. And I got all these cables in it, and the AV cables in it, and all this shit. Right? It's great. Great. I love these, by the way. More people need to make coiled cables like this. I fucking love these. So I needed to replace it. So there was a random Anchor sale this weekend. And I love Anchor products in general. A lot of my cables are Anchor. A lot of my blocks are Anchor, things like that. So, put this back. As I knock everything over this bitch. Come on. I knocked something over. I don't know what it was. So I need to have a better charger block for this stuff. So I picked up one of the new Anchor ones. Now, this one is only, I think, 20,000 milliamp hours, but it's 220 watt. It's got a great display screen on it, right? And yes, it does flip. Ports are 2 USB-Cs and a regular USB. It has an app to tell you all the wattage and stuff that's being shoved out. It's got the base that you can set it on to charge. It's about the same weight as that one, but a better form factor, I think. And if you shake it 4 times, it starts a timer for 30 minutes. Pretty cool. I just want the charging because this thing can charge my Surface twice, which is pretty good. I tested it already once. So I got that. So that's my latest, did I need this? No. Am I going to use it? Absolutely. Because I don't want to carry the other one around. It's a little heavy. Not going to lie. So I'm going to try to pack light. My goal this year is to only bring digital product. Because I have to sell stuff this year. So I still got to print a couple more Breacher books. I might print one of the things I'm going to show you today, which is Eight-Legged Queen. I'll take it to Gen Con, then when I bring it back, maybe I'll give it out to somebody here. But I wanted to have a better charger. So I have that, and I found that spiral cable. There's a company called Chubby Cables that makes that spiral cable, which I'm excited for. I really like those spiral cables because if you need them long, you make them long. If you don't need them long, you don't have to have them long. I actually really like them. I know a lot of people think they're junk because they look like the old corded phones, but to me, that always worked well, and I miss having that. Like, I'm so sick of this like sloppy ass cord for these headphones. No matter how I wrap it up, no matter how I tuck it together, these IEMs, they just look sloppy, no matter what. So I'm excited for that. But speaking of sales, I need to show you something kind of awesome. Hi. So today, boys and girls, Christmas in July, everybody. Christmas in July. Yep, that's right. All the things that you love on sale, 50% off. This has got some good stuff in it, by the way. Things that we've recently reviewed. So, Sword is here, which just came out. Cyberpunk, all the Cyberpunk stuff's here. A whole bunch of stuff from White Wolf is on here. One Ring is on here. Aliens is on here. And it's all 50% off. So if you're looking to save some cash on some PDFs, or if you're not going to Gen Con, this is your Gen Con today. Like, look at the options in this shit. I'm still scrolling. Look at all the red. Red is good in this case. Dread's on here. Curseborn is on here. We reviewed so many of these games. Honestly, if you want to know about any of these games, just search the title in my channel, and you'll probably find a live show where I recorded this. And if you're ever wondering, I don't want to listen to the whole live show. Okay, fine, I get it. You're not a super fan. You could go towards the end. I didn't mark them all. I haven't had time. I'm a one-man operation. But if you clip through towards the end, I usually record a 10 to 25 minute recap of everything we went over in the live show for these reviews. Like, we just did the superhero one. So if you're looking at picking any of this up, check out the channel. Great chance that I have given a review on these. Awesome. Changeling, baby. If not, then fend for yourself. I don't know what to tell you. I did work for you. Well, I did work because it was fun, but you know what I mean. So I wanted to at least show up Christmas in July. This is pretty awesome. Sale ends in 16 days. Got some time, but don't wait too long. I always forget, and then I never fucking finish this shit. I might pick up some of the Wrath of Glory stuff and some of the Warhammer. I really wanted to review those, and I never have. Dragonbane's in here. Brah. For all my Dragonbane people who did not pick this up, pick it up. Pick this up right here. This is your baby. This is what you want. Here. Here. I already own it all, you can see. Copy affiliate link. Here. Pick up Dragonbane if you don't have it. 50% off. Pick that up. Pick it up. It's your best friend. That's cheap. That's actually really cheap. Do we have July? I'm gonna close this one. Hit return. I'm gonna do CT live again. I'm gonna put today's date. Today, boss. And I'm going to mark this link here. Dragonbane. 50% off. What else out of this list would I say I would support? Like, would want you guys to use an affiliate link for? Dragonbane. I mean, Cyberpunk. If you don't own Cyberpunk, I think that's a good one. You want that. Anything else? Anything else? What else have we reviewed that would be like great? Great for this. The great for 50% off. What else have we reviewed that I loved? I mean, any of the Aliens franchise stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Hold on, let's go back. Is there any other really lovely ones we have in here? I mean, the interface is awesome. Oh, the new Aliens. New Aliens. Aliens Evolved. $50% off. So if you don't own this shit, I would recommend picking up this shit. Those are the ones I think I would recommend the most. I think those are the best ones. I can't really think of anything else. I'm looking through the list right now of things that I've reviewed. Like if there's anything else that I think would be awesome for you guys to grab. I don't even know what you guys are playing anymore. I feel like everyone's still trying to play 5th edition. Like, granted, I had to go run 5th edition today for a paid game because that's what this co-op does. But like, I haven't played 5th edition for the fun of it, like just for me to play, in years. Not since I switched Magic and Monsters off of it. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Honestly, I would say since OGL. Since OGL debacle, I haven't touched really for myself D&D. I still write for it. I still create for it. It is popular. God, look at these. This is just nuts to me. Oh, and if you don't know, I should probably be clear on this. If you go to Artel Soren Games, it's everything in the lineup is 50% off, including Cyberpunk 2077, Interface Zeros, Tales of the Red. The only thing in my eyes that does better, like for you to save money, is when there's a Humble Bundle and it has all this shit in it, right? But look at this. It's everything. I wonder if they did The Witcher that way too. Yep. Witcher. Also 50% off. Amazing fun RPG. Very crunchy if you haven't played it. So if you ever want to see what they have, you can just click their name and go into it. So I at least wanted to showcase this because this is wild to me that they're doing this. Like, I want to look at the Two Little Mice. So these are the people who made Outgunned and The Sword. All 50%. Boom. Across the board. And this, if I ever run John Wick again, I'll be using this instead. For sure. So, that's the lowdown on news. That's it. That's all I had for you. Evil Dead Burn came out. I have not seen it yet. Please don't spoil it for me. I haven't had a chance. But I will be going to see it probably tomorrow. I think that's I want to see it here before my weekend starts. Because I'll be at the Dock Bar all weekend. And then I am prepping for Gen Con all next week and doing prints and all that fucking fun, crazy shit. Hat looks crooked. So, other than that, let's get into what we're here for. I have to leave the house by 5:30. I still have to pack today, which means that I'll be pretty busy. Not insanely busy, but like pretty busy. I've done a lot up front. I have a little bit of editing to do left in here for the game today. Just a couple of little notes I want to make from our last session before I go run this. We're running the City of Slate for a group, which is an area within Velrum, the section of the world that I am doing is the Broken Isles and the continent next to it. So I need to prep a little bit for that, not a lot. I did all my prints. I have all the monsters printed over there. I have my maps printed. The map was a pain in the ass to print today. Holy shit. I printed forever for it. I made their magical item cards. I got that done last night. So, looking through my video, I was editing the Eight-Legged Queen, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It was too much. It was too. it was too busy for me to feel like someone could watch it in 10 to 15 minutes and understand how to run it. And I got my thoughts together first. So I don't know what caused the issue that I have when I record. Because I normally can do things in one take. I think, honestly, lack of sleep. But I need to make this work. And the goal is to record a 10 to 15 minute video that is super clean, that they can watch and understand how to run Eight-Legged Queen, or ELQ, and just take notes on their doc. So, for those of you who don't know, Eight-Legged Queen I started 2 years ago. I saw Dyson Logos make edge strip dungeons, like full-on edge strip dungeons, made to go on the edge of the page. It's like, man, what a great way to funnel people through a dungeon and still have diverging paths and make it fun. But I've always hated that dungeon crawls have to be super, super long or super short. Like, they're kind of set. So my goal was to make a dungeon crawl that is not that has 3 lengths to it, 3 different boss fights, and 3 different endings, all still being satisfying, but set up for your levels of play. And then afterwards, I'll probably set up a blog post or something on Patreon that helps you use the things you didn't use when you start your actual campaign. This is made for Shadowdark level 0, but when you leave out, you should be level, I think it's level 1. You should have a level 1 character by the time you leave. But I think you end up being like level 2 or 3 by the time you get out of this place. For the event, characters are level 0, and they can unlock level 4s through the new game mode. Usually it will be a level 1, but for this, or level 3, but for this it's a level 1. And I did that because I wanted to make this move fast, and we only got 3 hours, and the best way to make it 3 hours is to bump the damage on monsters, but give players a higher level character. So you can become a level 4 character. We don't tell them that, though. You don't want them to know they can unlock a better character. They need to think it's a funnel, right? Like, that's the game plan. So, we're going to get into this. I'm going to show you guys the event. I think we sold out. Did we sell out for this? Yeah, it sold out, I think. Yep. So, we're going to go through this. We're going to go through the PDF, and we're going to kind of make this whole thing ready to rock and roll. Like, that's my plan. If I can, right? Like, that's our goal. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to look through it, and I'm going to gather ideas. And then after we look through it and gather ideas, we're going to build it out. So let's act like we're recording it, and then we'll go from there. But let's go take a look at what we got and see, can I get this done in 10 to 15 minutes? I think so. So, let's pull up Chrome. This is the event. Alexa, stop. This is the event, right? You wake in the darkness, strung up in silk. Something massive stirs below. On the night of her betrothal, the Eight-Legged Queen hunts, and you're the offering. You wake in darkness, strung up in silk. Something massive, blah, blah, blah. So, no maps, no light, no help. Rip free, regroup, and escape or hide before you're devoured, or worse. Bring your wits and help each other survive in this brutal interactive new game mode, Prey. This interactive adventure where 8 tables of players play the same adventure. What happens at one table impacts all other tables. Now, I haven't told the GMs the interaction between the tables, because as overseers, our group, I think what we're going to do is walk around, and as they tell us what's going on in the events that have happened, the amount of deaths there has been, the Eight-Legged Queen shows up. I think the GMs are going to, the overseers are going to play the Eight-Legged Queen in some spots, But it also affects like how many hits they've taken, and then if she's able to actually be fought or not, or she always runs away. So the goal is like damage her enough to where she is killable. That is a goal. I don't know if anyone's going to do that in this first adventure, but it will make her retreat. So we'll see how the interactive goes. What do we have? What are we actually showcasing? That's probably a really good question here. So let me pull up the eight-legged queen. Let me pull her up. There we go. Look at that magic. So the eight-legged queen. This is a custom art piece I did for it. I wanted her to be nasty looking, drider looking thingy. That's just horrifying. This is made to be looked at in a 2-page spread. Okay. So we're going to do 2-page scroll. And you'll see why pretty quickly. Like why I'm saying this is made to be seen in a 2-page spread. So this is your front cover. This is the Gen Con one. Eight-legged queen. Yeah, her legs have like blades on them and stuff like that from dead people she's killed. We have random items. We have encounters. We have treasure. And we have half-made descriptions. What is all this? What is it all? Does it make sense? Yes. I wanted to have a game where everybody who's playing has a chance to unlock gear as you play. Ooh, why is this so... Huh, hold on here. We're gonna have to fix the PDF reader here, I think. Yep. Fuck. I updated Chrome. Or not Chrome. What the fuck's it called? OBS. And I've noticed some issues with it lately. I've been doing my best to fix them all. But what has been happening is things have been moving that I have pre-set up on screen. Like that shouldn't be a problem. It just shouldn't be. So it should be about like that. And it shouldn't be moved all over. I don't know why the fuck it's doing that shit. If you ever become an OBS person, my answer to all of you is just don't work with PDFs. Just don't do it. Anyway. I want to make sure that we have everything in here, that I didn't miss anything. And I've read through this. I've play tested this, I think, 26 times now. So, anyway, I'm going to kind of practice a run through here so I can do this as tight as possible. But I want... Actually, I'm not going to practice. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to take notes on what I want. Let me get a piece of paper. Who's going to write? Make bullet points. Because I did this before, and I don't know, man. It didn't sing the way I wanted it to. So, we're going to talk event first. You guys got to get to learn how I do this. Win. Next is going to be overview. And then if we scroll through, I've done a lot of this already. We should definitely talk 2-page spread. It's made to be run this way. And it'll make sense once we get into it. But I have welcome setup runtime, new mode, and this is your prey mode, right? We definitely have to talk prey mode. Okay. 4-0 levels, one piece. Death, blah, blah, free. And now we're freeing a 4th level for this convention, right? And I had to balance monsters in the back, but then I realized it's Shadowdark, and they're all 0 levels, and then maybe you get like 2 or 3/4 by the end. Hopefully everyone gets a 4th by the end. But this is the layout for it, right? All the way down to the clawful art in the back of the book. But we have the half-maids. They're level 2s. We have the Heliotrope Spiders. They're a level 2. We have the Shining Knights, which are level 3, right? But they're technically good guys unless you attack them. People are stupid. Sometimes I've had people fight the Shining Knights numerous times. And then we have the 8-legged Queen, who's a level 6. Now, while she's a level 6, the prey mode makes her like a level 8. You have to trap her to kill her. You have to stop her from being able to retreat and heal and come back. And that's the big thing. She's a level 6 by herself. She's fightable. But she can one-punch a person. And she gets 3 bone blade leg attacks. Bone blade leg attacks. And a D8 plus 3, if you're 4th level and you're a wizard, you get once or twice, you're dead. But you can embrace people and run away if people fail a Dex DC. So, I should probably go over the DCs. The ruling on it and why we did this. I should also explain what a Z is. And right here, this last page is going to be a very big page. I think this is the page that'll be printed. The GMs will probably mark the most. And I reprinted the undead parts and the Shining Knight wounds here just so that they have a special version of them, right? Kind of fun. And I have a river mishap. This is for the final fight. And then I have a river escape short because that's what we're doing as a short deadly. I have some GM notes here to help people out as well. So, what else am I didn't like a couple things. I have to explain we're doing the short session. Right? We want to explain that we're doing this. I have it so I can just highlight now. I'm going to highlight everything that I want to hit up, just like I would normally. I think setup I want to talk about. We definitely need to go over the new mode. The biggest thing is this, I think. The death. The death through this is important. Like, that's a big section. Background is more for the GMs and what each group is. I think keep the pressure is important. Because I think people don't understand how to do this very well sometimes, especially if you haven't ran Shadowdark before. Like, this is a great starting point. The lost items. So, I need to look at my pre-gens for this. Hold on. I did pre-gen character sheets, and I think I should hit up this as well. That's the one thing I know I didn't do last time. Oh, my lord. I forgot I put that in here when I was doing it. The lady who helped me do the voice for Corpse Mother is going to be back in town after Gen Con, so I'm hoping we can do 2 more songs. So I want to be able to show this as well, so I think this is important to have on screen. You know what I mean? I love these sheets, by the way. These are really good. All right, so let me go back over here. I probably should speak about breaking down a room breakdown. A lot of people will fuck this up because I know this is not a normal room breakdown for people. I think they work really well in general. This is something myself and Cree have talked about a lot as we're designing adventures, what we want as a GM in an adventure, and we wanted the name, a quick description, and then words across the top that just let us evoke whatever it is we want to say. So wet, muddy, raw, metallic odor. I can be like, oh yeah, the room is super wet. There's a metallic odor in the air. It's you're sticky and muddy. Like that is important. And there's kind of a breakdown for each room. And the rooms are simple. The encounters, if there is a preset encounter in them, they have an encounter, right? And roll on this. On a 1, the Spider Queen shows. On a 2, the Mistress in the room 3 is alerted. Will ambush. I'm basically making a small weighted table for you and setting the tone of the game by using 1s and 2s for your encounter rolls. I think I talk about the room somewhere. Yeah, here it is. If they're wounded by... Okay, so I knew I put this somewhere. I knew it. Because this is the event piece that will get cut out for the final version. It's only going in here for running the events. If she kills 20 PCs, she gains an extra D6 damage on all attacks plus 1 attack. So she scales up as murder happens. Your table, the entire place floods. The last fight is up to the ceiling, and she can reach without webbing them up to her. Okay, cool. So I should definitely talk about these core mechanics that are going to run through the game. Is there anything else before I record this? So it goes melting pools. They need to escape. There's a shining knight there that cuts them down. It takes an 18 to cut them free. Fail and they die. And remember, all shining knights have the heliotropes explode out of them after they die, which is horrible. Heliotropes again. Trying to keep this short and sweet, right, when I designed this. Heliotropes are out of the shining knight. Anytime they die, a heliotrope can burst out of them. And we talk about that. I noticed I have some stuff divided, but I have it here, and I think this is a good spot to just mark as I'm kind of talking to them as I record this. Where did I talk about everything is deadly? I say something about everything being deadly. I'm looking here. I should probably hit up these are very important pieces. That's important. But I don't want it to cover that. So we're just going to go like this. Like that. Where do I fucking talk about this? Right here. Every room is considered deadly. Right here. Under the keep the pressure. Okay, cool. So that, they escape. And then the areas 2 and 3 are normal escape routes, but they're flooded. They're buried. It's collapsed. If they do something wrong, there's traps and treasure there. There's a chance something happens. Encounter roll. We have that there. And then we have 3, which is the preservation room. This is where the web maidens are prepping stuff for the wedding. We have the flood door, which is 4 here. And again, 2-page spread, right? So if you do this your 2-page spread, you got the edge pages that kind of have the map on them and they're marked. Did I need to put it on each page? Someone asked me that. No, I don't. But I did it because I feel like people can mark it then. And if they don't print a 2-page spread and they print a 1, you still have the map there. It's not that much of a difference. And if I want to use any of this space, I will just mar this out and put art there. That's all I'm going to do. if I want to put art there when I do the final version. But this was put together for an event. So, Preservation Room, Web Maiden, Shaloon. So, her demeanor, falsely helpful, right? Secret doors are in this room. There's an area here. You can take the secret doors and go through, and it'll take you to room 6. You can come up through here to room 6. It's a flooded area. But it's a 120-foot drop to the shallow water. Good chance whole party dies there. Right? It's 12d6 Dex DC 18 for half leads to room 6. That's if you fall. No one's going to survive 12d6. Unless I got a 4th level character right out of that. I mean, 12d6 is fucking brutal. Like, do we have 12d6 in the chat here? Hold on. I don't know if we do. Let's see. It's common roll. No. Let's try 6d6. There we go. So we can do that twice. Right? That player's probably dead. Unless they're a fighter. Right? You're falling, you're bouncing off things. Like, the goal is not to fall. You could climb down if you can make a 120-foot rope. And again, people have to remember, if they make rope and it's a tunnel down and they want to tunnel, or they want to climb down here, they can. They're taking time, they're setting rope, they're anchoring it in the room. They're willing to do all these things. You're making encounter checks. So there's no reason to punish them for making this climb down. I would make it like a 9 to climb down that length. Maybe a 12 if you want, as they make their way down. Or they could lower people. But 12d6 is going to fuck some people up. Right? If they fail that, they're taking half of this. What was that? 32, so that's 40, so they're going to take 20 points of damage and fall into that water. The next, if they don't go that way, is the flood doors. So the first flood door is here. That's what this is. And then the second set of flood doors is 8. There's a flood gate. So there's a flood door, and this is the flood gate, right? Just so people know the difference between the two. So that'll be important as well. So the goal is for them to get to here. If they have a flood chasing them, they can go into this room and shut the door. It's the first area they're going to be able to see it. There's also deface altar there. If they fuck with the altar at all, if they pray to it, the 8-legged queen shows up. So if they want to draw the 8-legged queen for a fight, they can. I've had one group do that, where they went all the way to 11, I think it is, and then they came back to here and drew her out using this and killed her in this first room. It was a brutal fight. They lost 4 party members, if I remember correctly. It was fucking rough. So, and you'll notice that I have the rest of the stuff here, but this is for another adventure, so I probably should note room breakdown, and I should probably note map, cut off. And then I'll tell them to check the final maps. So I took these maps, and I made them into full-fledged, like my version of them for this event. So let me find... I just sealed some rooms and shit. Let me find the queen. I did it because I wanted them to be able to have a printable map for this. So, like, let me... Can I open this easy? Yeah, I can. Hopefully it doesn't crash anything, because you know how it be. So here, check this out. It's a very detailed map, right? Very detailed maps. And I made them gridded so people could print them instead of not having them gridded. Thankfully, Dyson already does a lot of that work, so I didn't have to dick around at all with it. So here, check this out. Let me close the Acrobat. Let me open up Chrome, because I'm going to probably talk about this during. As a reminder, there are printable maps. So, printable. The printable maps have this area closed, this area closed. This is the floodgate. This is the door, the stairs up. And if you go to this one, you can see the line cut. And it lines up pretty fucking perfect. If you want to put them side by side, because that's the door. This is the cutoff for the door. And you can just kind of lay it over that. So you have everything there. This is the death sentence that they want to go. And then it ends here. So I just kind of refilled all of this in. So it's just a combat area for this event. Normally this would stay open. But I just tell people to wall that off during it. So I'll probably have to talk about these. So I'll leave these up as well. I'm gonna close these out just to fix some of this. We'll need this up. What else do I need? Let's take Chrome down. What else do I need to hit for people to understand exactly what we're doing? What happened to my? There we go. So what else do we need to do? Flood door, the honor hall 5. I starred these, so 2 half-made are manacled to each wall. I wanted to do a star thing so you can kind of see the two related, keeping that purple tone. Treasure, chainmail curtains, overall mining tools in case they want mining tools. They can fight with them and do what they want with them. What else do I have in here? Oh, the first NPC. This is probably one of the more important things. You can save him and he can travel with you. There is treasure in here. Old dry rations. Scratch on the bottom shelf. A hidden compartment with a wand of magic weapon. Very potent. If you have a mage in your team, this could be a really good way to be able to cast a spell that your party probably doesn't have. I will mark that this is a great thing. And then I want to talk about... if they look, don't make them roll. Don't make them roll. Or roll time equals encounter roll. Anytime you take time to do this, encounter rolls are done. So I think that solves a lot of that problem. The Queen's Nest. This is where she lives. They could go in there. You can do that. I wouldn't go in there, but you can. Then you get the floodgate, which stops wooden doors, which is great. This is a counter you'll start rolling. I will probably note this for the GMs. Right? Like that. Spiderlings and Brahm. Webs, horror, water. End of the muddy hall opens. A gruesome visage of a shining knight webbed to the wall. Mouthing run. As his body is being eaten from the inside out. So, webs, horror, water. And then you got heliotrope spiderlings. These are not read aloud text. That's the other thing I want people to understand. This is for the GM to read over it and know what's coming up. Fight, heliotrope spiderlings, trap. It's a D or a W DC 14. This should not be a 14. This should be a 15. I didn't mean to do that. Note to self. This should be a 15. I should change this in... I don't know why that would be a 14. Because it's 9, 12... Is it 9, 12, 15, 18? Hold on here. Maybe I did do this right. No, it should be a 15. 9, 12, 15, 18. So I need to fix that. So this is one of those things in Canva, which I have up right now. I can edit really quick. I can't believe I fucked that up. go. Fixed. Fixed, I say. I did make a GM's note over here. Use this mechanic to push the party forward as needed. Second, remember when someone gets free from a cocoon to roll and on a 1, the queen shows, kills, or takes one person and runs. Because she either kills someone and runs or takes somebody and runs. One or the other. Makes her leave so she doesn't stick around. We don't want her there as a constant battle. We want her going in and out to get that prey mode feel. That GM note's pretty important. I feel like a lot of people... Is it treating it like a... Weird. That's weird. I can't mark that. But I bet you I can draw on it. There you go. That's how you fix that problem. The groom to be, lavender brine being which. Okay, so this is a weird area. Once you get through 9, 10 is where like everything starts going on. There's another possible fight here. There is a trap of the groom. You can release the groom to come with you. So you could possibly get the ogre and the groom at the same time. These are 2 things that you can do, which makes your escape much easier. If they fail to get the groom, he'll stay there because they'll move him later in the medium and long versions. I got a GM note for the groom here on what he can do and the penalties that he causes. He's loud. I mean, basically, that's the big thing. He's loud. He has to crawl. He has no legs yet. And then the river escape short. There's the short adventure. It's deadly. Every round you can roll an encounter. You can see that we have the trap, strength or dex DC near. That is the trap below. This is skeletons, animated skeletons that will try to pull you down and drown you. So I recommend knowing the drowning rules. The boat fits 4, not 6. Is tied to shore AC. Again, this needs to be, what is it? 4. Every hit point is a slot. This is the thing that changed. Every hit point is a slot. A person takes 4 slots. So it's 4, 8, 16. So this is 16 hit points instead. I'm going to go over and change that in the hard copy. I knew I had to change something else. I could not remember what it was. But basically, the book came out for Western Marches, and they kind of polished up how boats work. So it should be 16 hit points instead of the 30 that I did. Because I was trying to make something that would last down the river. But at the end of the day, I don't care if it lasts. Your goal is to get out. You know what I mean? Like, your goal is to survive. Let me... I'm trying to find where I put that at. What page was that on? Here it is. And it has no oars, so the PCs are going to have to find a way to use oars to get themselves out of here, right? That's important. Usually people use spears, they take legs off the table in the other room, things like that. GMs need to give them options. Remember, say yes to things. Because your players are trying to solve problems. There's a difference between OSR and like D&D. And then they have a breakdown on how to run the Sturger combat. Okay? And then it's got 7 steps, but it's basically start each round, roll the river mishap, DC 15 for all actions unless said. If there's no tool, it's a disadvantage. Remember, players' backgrounds or smart thinking should overcome this. The Sturger attacks the Lightbearer. If they miss the first round, overturn the next. Trap, if the PCs fall off the boat, skeletons try to grab them. Don't forget if the Ogre and the Groom are with them, which isn't really a step, it's just to remind them. And then boat, it is a SDC 15 to move near. can be done twice. Failure means no movement, right? You don't move. You spin in a circle. Something's wrong, whatever. And then river mishap, you roll each round. The queen drops from the ceiling. Skeletons break loose. Rapids, because they only need to get 120 feet to get out of here. And 2 people can row, right? So if one person's rowing, you need a DC 15, the other one is aiding them, you're rolling that DC 15 with advantage. It can be done twice. So if there's 4 people and you all have oars, one can aid somebody, one can aid somebody, and that will let you row out. Or 2 who are strong can just row, like if you have fighters, they can just row with advantage on what they're doing and make their way through. And on doing that, you only need to, if you're moving near's 30 foot, that's 30, right? 60. If you do it 2 rounds in a row, you're out. My thing is I've only ever seen one party get out in 2 rounds. Usually this combat turns into what they do instead. They fight. But they have a choice, fight or flee. It's a choice. That's all there is to it. And he will charge the boat and ram it. He does 3d4. He can sink the boat in one hit. One hit, he can sink the boat. It's dangerous. So, we'll see. But normally he tries to overturn the boat. He doesn't really attack the boat. He attacks light. So the Sturger, because he doesn't like light, should be attacking them. Attacking Torchbearer. And then he will, he can spark fire and his oil ignites things. It's a tough fight. It's a really tough fight. He usually doesn't try to attack the boat. He usually tries to attack the people. But if he hits the boat, he hits the boat. Right? That's just how it is. And then we have our monsters in the last page. If you need Ogre, there's a page they're on. Web page, Maiden, this is what the page they're on. Fun little pieces. Queen item closing. Very simple. And then I'm going to teach them the GM rule of make it tight. Adjust, dice, and encounters. All right, I'm gonna record this. Let's get this done. I'm really happy with how this turned out, by the way. Like I really do like this a lot. I'm a big fan of the overall look and feel of this. So, hope you guys like it. It's deadly though. It's not made to be easy. So let me... How do I want to do this? I'm going to record it. I'm going to start here. I'm going to change the music. I guys want the instrumentals for this. Thanks, Kyle. I was really happy with him. Dude, the half made? Look at this thing at the back. Let me go to the back. Hold on here. This guy is my favorite. Because you can roll one with a claw, and I just envision this miner. Like, sinewy looking. He's stitched shut. His belly is full of those heliotrope spiders. He's got a old miner's helm on. Maybe I might have went a little too modern with the miner's helm, but they made ones like that back then because I made it leather. But they made ones back then where you put a candle in them and it's shut and it would just burn out the top so you could light the top. But this is inspired by the He-Man figure, and he's like got like carapace on him and stuff. I don't know, man. I thought he turned out really good. He's fucking weird looking, man. I mean, the belly is just a big ass sack of spider eggs. I wanted something horrific. I need to do the art for the Web Maidens. For this, I didn't have time. Alright, so I'm going to start it here. Get something on my tooth here. I'm going to use this. I don't know if I ever showed this off, Kyle. I have 2 of them. This is a titanium lightsaber toothpick. Oh, there's the bamboo one. Lightsaber toothpick. Hold on. I cut up a little sleeve and put it in here, but little Mace Windu lightsaber toothpick. I have like a little piece of cardboard that I folded up and glued together to put it in so I don't tear up the fabric of this thing. Because I really like this thing. I don't want to tear it up. All right, so let's hit record. Hit play. I'm going to turn the music down a touch more, I think. Let's want it in the background, not a lot. All right. Everybody, this is Eric Frankhouse, the creator of Eight-Legged Queen. I wanted to talk to you about running the Gen Con event. I believe we have about 8 tables for this 3-hour event. 30 minutes of kind of, setup and tear down of people being there. So 2.5 hours is really the tight goal we're looking at here. 3 is what I expect it to be, though. I think we're going to run into 3. So you can have access right now in Discord to download the PDF. I do have a 1.7 that's probably going to come out Thursday, but there's only 2 corrections in it, and we'll get into those as we go through. But let's talk about when is the event, where is the event, how to run the Eight-Legged Queen. We're going to go over the table. I hope recording this makes it easier for you than me answering a bunch of questions. If you do have questions when this is done, you can drop them in the comments below or in the Discord where we've all been talking, if that makes it easier for you. Either one works for me. Doesn't really matter. All right. So Eight-Legged Queen, pretty simple. Cover for it, Gen Con. I wanted to make something that was horrific. I wanted something scary. The Eight-Legged Queen is amalgamation of the parts of people she's killed, stitched into her body by her web maidens, and she's getting ready to be married. I know. Who would marry that? This is built as a 2-page spread, okay? These are Dyson logo maps. They are edge maps. This is part of a longer adventure, but the whole goal of the Eight-Legged Queen is to make a short, medium, and long play. For Gen Con, we're going to be rolling and running the short version of it. With that said, there are tables up front to make yourself whatever you want. There's treasure and XP here where you can have fun with that. If you want to hand things out and give people something fun. And then we have half-made descriptions just to give you some fun things to do. Obviously, Eight-Legged Queen, this is just all my stuff for it. And our 2-page spread. Now, this is a pretty easy thing to run overall. The welcome explains what you're doing. The setup tells you what you should do. I tried to write this specifically for our Gen Con event, so I cut a lot of the fat out. But you want to pick the length of game. We are running the short version. Players roll once on the item table to start. This is basically just for an extra piece of gear. I think for this con we do it because it's fun. You get your 1-hour timer ready. You're going to need it. I have something I can flip. Use your phone wherever you want. I also tell people, as a little tip for the 1-hour timer, if you don't want them to know how much time they have, roll a d20. You're underground, under a riverbed. Roll a d20 and knock that much time off and don't tell your players. It's a great way to kind of control the light. And it also stops players from metagaming too much with their torches. Because someone will pull out their clock and try to start a timer. We don't want that. So you just say to them, I'm going to be rolling a d20. This is how much time is taken off because it's wet down here. You don't have to. I just think it adds to the challenge. And then gather your minis. For this, you want spiders. You want some drow maidens. There's usually never more than one drow maiden at a time. And some night minis. You can use paper. You can use tokens. I don't care. Whatever you like, whatever style of GMing you do, that's what you should bring to this. I personally am going to use necromolds and just form them and put them on the table because it's fun. And then I can smash them when it's done. Read over the adventure first. Always do that before you have too many questions. Make notes. It's kind of like what I did today. And then there are 2 colored areas on the map. Purple, which is on a natural 1 on a d6 for your encounter roll. That is when the queen shows up. In the yellow area, the flood starts. There are a few spots where the flood can start beforehand. That is there because it's possible more happens. Make a level 5 rival crawler. Make it fun for you. Whatever you want to run, a rogue, a fighter, a priest, a wizard. However you want to fuck with the party, that's what I recommend making. Most of all, get ready to bring the wedding of the eight-legged queen. Think about a gothic underground drow wedding, and they're in the preparation section of everything that is going on. For the runtime, this section here, what I'll tell you is we're just doing number 1. We end at 10A. Do not worry about these other 2. Eventually, we'll have other segments, so this can be run through a whole convention. We're just doing the first section. With that said, we are 2-page spread for everything. There is a reason for that. I believe the container style mode of 2-page spread is an easy way to bite-size information for people and understand it. The new game mode, and this is the heart of what we are playing, is the Gauntlet Prey. The concept is that there are 0-level characters. They can cut other versions of themselves free because they're all going to get a sheet like this. They're all going to get 4 characters. And there's, I think, 6 sheets in there. They all get 4. And with these 4, you pick one to start. They pick one, they die. The friends cut one free. The next room, they automatically get free out of one. Doesn't matter. The goal is to keep them in the game, but to keep murdering them. Right? Now, with that said, they all start with 1 piece of gear, and I think we roll 1 piece of gear at the beginning of the game for them to make them feel like they start with something new. Because as they introduce themselves, you can be like, and what other piece of gear do you have? Please roll me a d12, and you can just have that table ready. All right? Very simple. These things got like 1 hit point, 3 hit points. Like, they're going to get murdered. They're going to get murdered. And if people want to change the names on them, let them. Who cares? It doesn't matter. They're going to die. So, the way the prey mode works, this is important. Hear me out here. I want to make this as easy as I can. Each player starts with a sheet of 4 0-level PCs with 1 piece of gear from the item table, or you can use Shadowdark links. Again, we already made ours. Death. When a PC dies, they can bring their next character in using the following ways. They can cut themselves free from a web sack. A knight or a PC frees them. A PC moves into the room and they come out of a cocoon. The party is fleeing. If they are running from the water, have another person come running with them as the flood is coming through. It keeps the momentum going. When does the prey stuff trigger? Well, it's pretty simple. A prey encounter will trigger anytime the webs are disturbed. You roll a d6. You free a PC. Roll a d6. There's a loud noise. Roll a d6. Spiders hatch. Roll a d6. A maiden is killed. Roll a d6. That even means if you're in a deadly scenario or if you are not, you roll a d6 to see if she shows up. She automatically shows up if the room says so. The wedding room, which we don't have in this adventure. A side tunnel of webs. For example, there is a section in here which is her home. She immediately shows up there. Or if a torch goes out, she shows up. The one thing I do want to remind is as you're killing these characters, you're going to want to mark things. There's a sheet at the end to mark. But every time they get a new character, a chance to bring a new one out of cocoon, they're going to take a single d6, they're going to roll it, and they're going to add the number of deaths they've had. If they get a 7 plus, they get their 4th level character freed instead. Now, people have asked me if that 4th level character dies, what happens? I hope you have more 0-level characters left. See how this goes? But you always roll. And if you do it, you free a 4th level character. Every time you roll. If your 4th level character dies, you go to free another one, you roll. And you do it based on how many player character deaths you have. Because the goal is the further in you get, the more likely you're getting a better character, a higher level character, to be able to escape out of this. Make sense? Keep the pressure. The prey mode is the pressure. All right? Now, we have background here. You can read over this on your own. The wedding party, the web maidens, the half-maid, the shining knights, the crawlers, and the rival crawler. That's it. That's all there is to it. Wedding party is just people who are here that are being forced to make the wedding. The web maidens are the people helping her directly. They're drow. Have fun with that. The half-maid are people they've stitched together through fleshcraft. The shining knights are people who were sent in to save everybody and didn't make it out. The crawlers, that's your players. And then a rival crawler is someone here who is going to fuck with the party. At the start, make sure everyone rolls initiative out of the gate. And then you're going to explain they get a lost item. Everyone rolls a D12. You're going to use that table that we have here in the beginning for your D12 for extra items that they have. They're going to die, but the thing is people drop gear, people get finicky and want to pick them up. And now we get into how the Gen Con event is different than running this normally. All right? I will say, table events should be fun. If you have to flex some rules to make it fun, do it. If you find something that I have written in here that isn't working for your table, change it. There's only a few things we're going to have to track. I just need to know how many player characters die and how many times she's forced away. And you can see that over here at the table events. There are 3 things to track. When the queen is damaged, how many times the PCs die, and how far the flood makes it. Those are the 3 things you as the GM have to track. Pretty easy. Just put some tallies at the bottom piece of paper, dice counters, whatever it is that makes you happy. Between all of the tables, if the queen is wounded by every table, I put 6 tables here. I think we're going to have 8. We can up it to 8. That's something we can talk about. Basically, it should be equal to the amount of tables that are there. So if we have 8 tables, all 8 tables have to hurt her at least once. All right? She can no longer flee, and she can be killed. That's the key. The only way to kill the queen is if every table injures her. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's like the ultimate finisher. Between all the tables, if she kills 20 player characters, she gains an extra D6 damage to all attacks and 1 extra attack. Now, if there's 8 tables, 4, 8, 12, double that, 24. See what I'm saying? It's going to be easy. She's got to basically kill at every table. But they all have 4 characters, and there's 6 of them. It's going to be easy to get this. She's only a level 6. The goal is to make her more powerful the more she kills. Now, I have a highlighted section here. If your table, for example, if the entire place floods, the last fight, the water's to the ceiling, she doesn't have to web somebody up to them. She can just attack them because she's at the ceiling height. All right? And the most important part on this start page is keep the pressure. Every room is considered deadly unless said otherwise, which means you're going to roll every single round. Pretty simple, pretty clean. I hope this makes sense. Now, with that said, we're going to get into how the spread works. I'm not going to teach you the entire adventure, but I'm going to highlight some points and make this a little easier as you go through. So let's break down the anatomy of the page. At the top of each page, it's going to tell you what sections are on that page. Yes, there's a full map. It's so you as a GM can make notes. You can write things. They're there the whole time on the edge page. Use this to draw on. Purple sections, say it with me, 1 means queen. Yellow sections means flood. That's what we're doing for it. I wanted a purple and yellow theme. Every one of these is going to have the title of a room. They're going to have key words to give you an idea of what the place is like kind of how it feels, what's going on, how deadly it is, the smells, it's the senses, sight, scent, sound, like that whole kind of feel. And then if it is dangerous or not, right? This says unsafe, this says deadly. If you don't know, in this book, it tells you in a dungeon crawl how many times you should roll when you're going through encounters. So that's what those are markers for to match what's in the book. I think it is deadly is every round, unsafe is every 3. After that, there's a description for that room to help you. I don't care how you describe the room, though. Just keep it similar. I just want you to have an idea of what it looks like. The purple is usually the first time I'm introducing something new. That's why it is Shining Knights, what they're for, what they look like. And then extra after death. This is important. When a Shining Knight dies, 1d4 rounds, unless magically healed, glass spiders burst out and bite each person in close range. They do a d4 hit points and then scurry away. They don't stay as a fight. They're more like a mobile trap. Each Shining Knight here, you can see here when the light goes out or at death, they burst out. But you can do and this is going to be the beginning of me explaining DCs, they can do an IDC 18 to cut the eggs out and save them, which means you can have an NPC traveling with. Always target those NPCs first, if they do get them. What an IDC is an intelligence difficulty. That's what you're doing. So S is strength, D is dex, C is con, I is intelligence, W is wisdom, and Z is charisma for the Riz. Why did I do that? You may not like it. It's okay. It's so I don't have to put CH and waste an extra letter when I'm doing stat blocking. Trust me, it works well. Thanks to Cree for that. After that, that is a room. That's how you break it down. There will be some that have traps. There will be some that have encounters, as you can see below that. That is the anatomy of how they are set up. It's very simple. So you can read through this, and the goal is, 1 is where they start hanging over these pools and cocoons. 2 are 2 traps that can go off. 3, there's a secret door that goes to the back of this. That goes into where the first web mistress is who is singing. 4, that is talking about this door here, which is to stop a floodgate. And then 6 is important. It's a room that if it floods, you can close it up and save yourself in there and take the underground passage all the way to 9. While 5 raises up, you have a huge combat that can happen on 5 and 6 here as you deal with half-maids on each wall. And those are set encounters. You'll notice that there is a star here and then the star here, and they match each other, right? Like, that's the whole point. They match each other. Those are the things I want you to kind of be able to use. There's mining tools here in case we need some extra treasure, but really gear for those 0-level characters. I will also tell you in section 4, over here, the flood door area that we were talking about, that's right here, this section. Let me see if I can highlight it. That'd be great. Can I highlight this for you? Let's do comments. I want the drawing tool. Pencil, please. So this section here, that, in section 4, there is an altar there. That altar is this defaced altar here. That defaced altar, you can summon the queen. So people really want to fight her, they can stay there and just fight her. If they want to just do it, they can do it. They don't know that, though, until they use it. 5 and 6 is these rooms here. 7, starting on the next page, you'll notice this section 7, 8, and 9. I highlighted 6 because there is another NPC. There's an ogre there that you can befriend or fight. A lot of people befriend him. Remember to use reaction rolls. You want to use reaction rolls to make that randomness good. If you have a bard in your party, someone who's a talker, just flex. Always lean into what the players are doing. Unlike D&D, OSR games, if players do something smart, you should give it to them or give them a bonus for it. Don't make them roll perception checks when they walk into a room. Don't make them roll wisdom rolls like that. Don't do that. If they say, I'm searching the room, say, where are you searching? What are you looking for? I'm going to search under the bed and the most hidden spots. All right, so you're going to take time? Yes, I'm going to take time. So you pull out your D6 and you roll that encounter roll. If you don't roll a 1, as you're searching through, you find X, Y, and Z because they took the risk to do it. Now, if they say, no, I don't want to take a risk, I'm just going to do a cursory glance, then you're welcome to let them roll to see if they catch it as they're running through the room. But if they take time, this becomes your best friend as a GM. It's that pressure die along with the timer that you have going. So this ogre, he can be really, really helpful. There's treasure hidden in here as well. This wand of magic weapon will be a great way to be able to fight the queen. Floodgate. If the flood started all the way back into, it'll hit this gate and stop. But that doesn't mean it's going to quit forever. There is a note here that it'll keep trying to break it. Right here. This section, once the water, it says right here, if the flood is active from this section before, the doors will stop in the water until one's rolled twice on an encounter roll. So for this whole section, if you roll ones twice, flood starts and it just moves room to room to room to room. And it starts flooding the place. The goal is to keep them moving, right? That's the goal for the flood. You want to keep them moving. And the flood is to cause pressure. It won't flood the entire place immediately. What I tell people to do is it takes 2 to 3 turns to fill a room. That's kind of how I was doing it. to where the water is so big that it fills that room. And I just start a flood tally at the bottom, and every time I have 2 tallies, I fill that room up, or I put it into disadvantage. I make it really simple. I don't do anything crazy for it. The flood should just feel dangerous. And up here at the top, it talks about that flood, but it doesn't happen enough to where I wanted to write full rules for it. So just mark that it's flooded, and in those areas they have disadvantage on what they're doing if it's a physical action. It's that simple. It's flooding. And too many rounds, the whole room floods. It's pretty clean. It's not hard. I have some GM notes over here for you as well. If you need to, check that out and look through it. The only changes that I have in here is this here should be a 15. I don't know why I put a 14. I think it's a mistype. And then when we go into the next section, we get towards the end of our event. So 10A is what we're doing, because we're not doing 10 we're not doing 11 in this. So 10 and 10A are the final pieces. The groom, he's up on a pole like a scarecrow with no legs because they're putting him together. You can also get him as a friend. All right? So think about that when you're playing through this. If the players play smart, they have enough people to help them get through. I do have notes on the groom and the disadvantages that come with him being with you, but he's a good person to pull the boat at the end. You know what I'm saying? I think that makes a lot of sense to me if you want something that's strong enough to push the boat in the water. Next up, the river escape. It's short. Right? This is the short game. It's deadly in this area. It's 30 foot deep. It's 120 foot long. Just draw a rough river underground that is near along 30 foot across roughly and 120 foot long. What I do is just make a 30 foot wide section by 30 or 60 if you want, and move a boat. I just use a note card, but you just move the boat. Right? And then you have that sturgeon that swims around and does all the crazy stuff. But really, you're putting obstructions onto the map as they're moving. Take the idea from Professor DM, for Dungeon Craft, where you're moving the objects onto this scene instead of having the players move through the scene. I find that it makes it a lot easier to do. So if a rock shows up, put a rock in the middle next to their boat and make them make the roll. If skeletons show up, have them swim up out of the water around them. If they move, you just move those skeletons back out of the way. They're not going to be able to catch up, and so on. So think of it like a stage that is 30 by 60 is what I would do. And just move their boat through it and then cycle it back, or move everything around them and just mark on the side. You guys move 30, you move 60. It's even easier to do that. Then you know how far your light goes out, how dark it is, the whole 9 yards. Trust me, it works really well. When I run my stuff, I made one of these on a Lazy Susan. Right? The backside's not finished. This piece here is perfect for that. You put them in the middle, you put the boat. Just do a water version, draw a circle of light, put their boat in the middle, move everything around them. It will make this section a lot easier for you. If you want to see some of the Professor GM, go look up Ultimate Dungeon Terrain. It works so well for this scene specifically. With that said, though, the final fight has got 7 steps, and honestly, this one is just a reminder at 5. That's all it is. The way this works is very simple. You start of each round, roll on the mishap table. That's what the players must overcome, besides the Sturger that's after them. That's it. That's all they have to overcome, or if the queen's there if they're really unlucky. All DCs are 15 for everything they do here is dangerous, and everything is a disadvantage unless they have the tool or a background to make it probable. The Sturger attacks the light bearer. If they miss the first round, overturn the next. So they dive and try to hit the light bearer to knock out the light. And then if that fails, they swim back by and they try to overturn. When they do that, assume the floating oil fills that area. This stuff that is here, roll that 2 and 6, right? It exudes oil, and then he sparks on the walls because the entire area is made of flint. And when he sparks on the wall, ignite that fire around the area. That is what should be damaging the boat more than anything, because it's not trying to attack the boat. It just wants the light gone. It's a dark dwelling creature. Keep that in mind. Super simple, super easy to do. They try to overturn the boat, but your players get to do Dex or SDC to not get knocked out into the water. And if they do, reminder, trap, there's skeletons on the other side if they fall in. If they fail that, they get pulled down. Don't forget that they have Drim the Ogre or the Groom with them. It makes this a little easier. It can fight. It could go take on the Sturger. It could take on the Queen if she shows up. It can pull the boat if they don't have oars. For the boat, a lot of people take the table legs off of the room in 10 that she's working on, or they take the thing out of the ground after they kill the Groom. Just tell them you're going to need some way to row this. What's your plan? They come up with something smart, run with it. Don't penalize them for it. Run with it. You want them to be creative. I like the mishaps. They're a lot of fun. Last couple things. All the monsters are on the last couple tables, except for the Ogre and the Web Maidens. They're in the core rulebook on 239 and 129. That is the Ogre that is in this Bad Mamma Jamma, and the Web Maiden that is in this book. If you don't have access to this book, tell me. I'll get you the stats for them. They're very easy to do. We can maybe even put them in our Discord if they're needed. Last, all your monsters are here, along with this table here that you can use and track things. Now, this isn't a lot of pages, everybody. Really, the adventure is like 4 or 5 pages. It's pretty quick. But the pressure comes from the constant encounters and the Queen and the pressure from the prey. So I have the half-made here. I have the undead part, so you can see what part of the half-made is undead now. Is their right leg, is their left leg, is their head, and so on. If you roll a 6, you got the claw hand, and it does more damage. That is the gentleman that you see here that I had fun doing with his little candlelight leather miner's cap. There are survivor tales in the mine. If they run into someone who's alive, roll on this. It gives you an idea of what's going on. That's the whole fucking point. Let them know the wedding stuff. Really, the Shining Knight wounds are when they encounter one. How bad is it if they come up in a random encounter? The Heliotrope spiders. This is what's going on here. The Shining Knights. That's what they are. The 8-legged Queen. She is a level 6, but remember, she's going to power up in this game based on how many players she kills. If she gets 20, she gets an extra d6 to all of her damage and an extra attack, giving her 4 attacks. When she kills someone, she takes the body and leaves. She doesn't stick around. But if she is down to not being able to escape anymore because she's been damaged by all the tables, she stays and fights to the death. Chance we get some people who kill her. Who knows? And then there is a magical item hidden in the adventure. I put that here for you. It's pretty fun. Closing. Track the deaths at the bottom. Count how many make it out. Have fun. Wing what you don't know. And most of all, make them fear the dark. There are deaths along here for you to track. And then I have survivors because there's always a chance that you get one of the NPCs to come out with you. With that said, this is a very, very clean adventure. If you have questions, drop them in my Discord. You can put them below this video because this will go up for all of you as well. But I don't think you should have a hard time running this. I think this overall should be a very clean way to do it. I do have another reminder for you in case you didn't notice this. Let's go over to our Chrome here. Our event. Currently, Rage event, 8-legged Queen, right now, this is where it is. It's Thursday, it's 7 p.m. while we're there. It's a 3-hour event. It lasts till 10 p.m. We are in ICC, that is the main convention hall for those who don't know. In our Discord, I edited the maps so that you can print them. They are to scale. These are here for the players to explore and have fun. Remember, there's really 3 maps. There's the first sections here. The second section's here. And then, of course, you're going to draw out however you want to do the river for yourself. It's very clean. But you'll notice I took off the secret doors. I also close it off here so they don't think they can go anywhere else. You don't have to explain any of that stuff. Feel free to print these. I print this stuff on 11 by 17s. But you can print it on a couple of 8.5 by 11s too. Whatever makes you happy. You can hand draw it. I will say, if you want to get spicy, there's a guy online who figured out how to do scratch away maps. And it is using, I believe, Dawn dish soap and acrylic paint over laminated sheets. I'm really thinking about doing this for my table. I highly recommend just going and get some 11x17s laminated and printed and doing it yourself as well. I think it's going to be pretty easy. If it's something that I do at home and test and it works really well, I'm just going to bring the solution with me and we can paint them because it dries pretty quick. And then they can scrape away that stuff. I think it'll be kind of fun, but that's up to you. If you want to go that extra mile, do it up. Remember, we're making an event to make memories. Build the pressure, clock your timer, take a D20 off it at the beginning for being underground and have it being wet. Threaten their light. Always provide pressure, and always, if they take time, say, that's okay, you can take time. Let's just see if anything happens. And people did ask me when they read through the adventure, this is something to talk about. I'd probably close on this note for you all. People ask me, why do you have encounters if every time we roll a 1, the queen shows up? Look, the queen shows up only in the purple sections. Only in the purple sections, right? So if you're in a yellow section, you get a random encounter, the flood starts, but you still roll on the encounter table. Or if the flood is already going, or if the queen is already there, you need an encounter table to bring that coming. So if she's there fighting and you roll a 1 again during that encounter on the next round, guess what? Another encounter happens. I also believe the encounter table is great. If you've already pressured them with the queen a lot and you don't want a back-to-back pressure because she runs off to heal herself, then roll on the encounter table. Pick the encounter. If you don't think the queen makes sense for that moment, you're the GM. Take one of the encounters instead. That's what I would do. So have fun, enjoy what you're doing, and more than anything else, that encounter table says on a 1 if it's a queen, or if it's the flood and you're in yellow. So maybe if you want on a 1, oh man, there's an encounter, and then roll on that encounter table with your D12 and only have her show up if you roll a 1 there, because there's other ways that stuff triggers. So that's it from me. I hope this helps. If you have questions, mark down below. Or you can leave them in our Discord. I think this video is recorded. It's like 30 minutes, which is longer than I wanted. Longer than I wanted again. Damn it. Oh well. Till next time, everybody. Oh, 30 minutes is not what I wanted for that. I really want a 15-minute video. I'm doing this again. I'm doing this again. I need it shorter. And I don't have a lot of time left. I need to leave here in 15 minutes. I'm going to have to do this again. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about the 8-Legged Queen event. I've already recorded this 3 times. I'm trying to get this to you in under 15 minutes. So let's rock and roll. Let's be quick. Let's talk about all the things in the order. Now I've already done this once. One of these days, this will go quicker, but there's so much information in tabletop RPGs. First off, I pre-printed your maps. This is section 1 here. These are 11x17. Go get them printed somewhere if you want. This is section 2. Remember, there's a 3rd section later on that you're going to need. Here's where we are. Currently, we are at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Right? Pretty simple. And then it's only a 3-hour event, so we got to make this tight and run fast. Run fast. It's why the section is so short. With that said, let's get rid of Chrome. Let's pull up our Acrobat. 8-Legged Queen Gen Con event. She is a monstrosity that's trying to have a wedding, sewing the parts of the dead to her, their weapons and everything. I wanted her to be horrific looking. I have tables in the front, D12 items, an encounter table, a treasure and XP table, and a half-made description. This is set up to be a 2-page spread. I highlighted things on the screen that are important. The setup, the things you need to remember. We're doing the short version of the game. Don't worry about the medium and long. You get 4 level 0 characters. We've already made those for you. They're in our Discord. Here's what those sheets look like. They're just from Shadowdarklings. They already have 1 piece of gear on them. If we don't have time to roll gear from that equipment table, just use the gear that's on it. Or if you want to give them a second piece to start, who cares? They're going to die anyway. They have like 3 or 4 hit points. Players roll once per item. Get your 1 hour timer ready. If you're worried about players cheating the clock, take a d20 at the beginning and say, I want you guys to know I'm starting an hour timer minus what I roll. Roll on this d20 and then minus that off and set your timer. I do that so players can't game the clock. It works great. Say you're wet, it's underground, you're under a riverbed. It works. No one ever argues. Gather your minis. Knights, some form of undead. I don't know, drow maidens, elf maidens, whatever you want to use for it. I'm going to be using necromolds for all my stuff because I think they're fun. The fish, you can use whatever you want for that. You could use rubber fish. You could print a fish. You could put a piece of paper on the table. It doesn't matter. It dives and makes attacks and goes underwater. It's not in the scene often for that last fight. Remember, during purple areas, the queen shows on a 1 on the d12. In yellow areas, the flood rolls in the encounter table on a 1. Then you want to make at least one level 5 rival to fuck with your party. Get ready and bring the heat. This part is for other adventures. If we ever do longer versions, don't worry about it too much. The new game mode, Prey. The goal is the queen is hunting the people she's brought in here anytime they interact with a few of the objects within the dungeon itself. They start with 4-0 level characters. Anytime they want, they can cut themselves from cocoon if a character dies, but they should only ever be using one character. Here's how the deaths work. When they die, you can cut themselves free from a web sack. A knight or a PC frees them. A PC moves to a new room and they free themselves out of one. Or the party is fleeing, say from the flood or the queen. When they start to flee, this person runs into the scene with them to keep it going. Every time they die, they roll a d6, and then they add how many deaths they have to it. On a 7+, they get one of the 4th level characters instead. If that 4th level character dies, add it to the total, roll again. If you need to recycle those characters, recycle them. Who cares? It's an event, it should be fun. The Prey encounter rules. When do you make the encounter rolls? And when do they just automatically show up? If the webs are disturbed, roll. On a 1, they show up. If they free a PC, roll. On a 1, she shows up. To make a loud noise, and I mean a real loud noise, not talking. 1 shows up. Spiders hatch out of one of the many creatures that are in the area, especially the knights. 1 shows up. Or if you kill a maiden, 1 shows up. You roll that. That is outside of the normal encounter rolls based on if the rooms are deadly or not. And then she automatically shows up if the room says so. If it's the wedding room, which we don't have in this adventure, that's in the long form. If they go in the side tunnel of webs, which we do have in this one, or if a torch goes out, she shows up. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Any other encounter roll on that D12 table that's up here. On a 1 on there, guess what? Shows up depending on the color. So, pretty simple. Make sense? Makes sense. Background on all the people involved and what's going on so you have an idea. The wedding party, the web maidens are drows, the half-maid are undead that they stitch together. The shining knights are people who are here to save people. The crawlers, player characters, or maybe other people they meet in there. Rival crawler, super bad guy, he's in there to loot everyone who's stuck. Start of the game, roll initiative, and then roll that d12 for the extra piece of gear that they get. Throughout, there are GM notes marked with this little pretty spider, just so you have some extra notes on what to do, how to apply pressure, all those kinds of things. There are 3 things we're going to track during this. 3, how many times the queen's damaged. So basically, every table, if they hit her, that means that she won't run anymore, and the next time she shows up, she can be killed. Right? She doesn't heal either. How many times PCs die in total? Because at 20 deaths, the queen increases her power. She gets a d6 and an extra attack every time. And then how far the flood makes it. The flood moves. The way I do this is when the flood starts, unless they close a door off to stop it, it moves a room every 2 to 3 rounds. Let's just say 3 for the sake of argument. It's different in the longer versions. In the short versions, if it starts to flood, they're running to get out of here anyway. There's really, you're either closing the doors, which we'll get into, to hide in a side room, or you're closing the double doors to not let it flood into the next area. And then the flood can still start if the room doors break. Your table, if the entire place floods, the last fight is up to the ceiling. That also means that you're swimming through a lot of this, if that happens. That means that in the last room when you're fighting the Sturger Ignatus, that she can just reach you from the ceiling. She doesn't have to web you and pull you up to her. Last, keep the pressure. Every room is considered deadly unless otherwise noted, which we'll get into the kind of anatomy of the rooms and the descriptions. So roll every round. Make sure you give players clues onto what's going on. I also like to say when you roll a 2, give an indicator of like what's going on in the area. You hear noise somewhere else, stuff like that, just to give those kind of omens. You'll see I do that when you are dealing with the web mistress in room 3. I remember this from the haunts in Betrayal House on the Hill. I love when you kind of like forecast what's going to happen or foreshadow. So let's get into the anatomy of a room. See if I can do this quick enough for you guys to get this done. Every room, top, your sections. Pretty simple. This is 1s and 2s. Description, sight, scent, sound. Usually is the description form. Some of them do have a choice. Like this one here, is it dry or muddy? Will the water get in? This here, how deadly is the room? This lets you know how often you should be rolling encounters. A description of the Shining Knights right out of the gate. And then, so you know, 1d4s after they die, unless they're magically healed, and usually priests don't, they really argue about saving somebody. They explode, and those heliotrope spiders show up, which immediately makes the players hide or run out of the room. I will say, players can hide from the queen. If they get in something, close the door, they can hide. Or she takes one of them and flees away. It's that simple. She doesn't have to stay there that long. Snatch somebody, gone. Shining Knight, there's tables for them. And then let's talk about the actual charts. Remember what I said, or maps. Purple, that means that this is the area that on a 1, the queen shows up. And the yellow means flood starts. Remember, you're under a riverbed. I also have things like traps and encounter rolls and stuff like that. Anytime you see, and I'm going to zoom in here. Anytime you see a DDC, an SDC, an IDC, let me explain how this works. I'm abbreviating it to make it short. That is a strength DC, a dex DC, C is a con DC. Don't forget intelligence and wisdom. And then charisma will be a Z for the Riz. So it's not C and a little H. It's extra letters and it fucks up blocks. It's easier for me just to put a Z there. Just know it's the Riz. It's charisma. And then the number afterwards is the DC. Below that, 1 and 6, when you roll a D6, that means on a 1 that happens. A 2 and 6 would mean that's what happens. That is the anatomy of every one of these rooms. I also color code any of these pieces that are needed as well for like room 10 and so on. As it goes, players escape here. They either flee around and ignore her, or they secret door through here, or they circle around and deal with her, right? If they don't deal with 1 or 2, the flood will not start here. If they fuck with 1 or 2 to get the bags and treasure, a flood can start. If it does, players almost always run into here. That's what happens almost every time. Why? Well, because dying sucks. And when the flood starts, this door here in 4 allows them to shut it, lock it, and save themselves. If they don't, and they run this way, this is an altar. That altar can summon the queen if they pray to it. That could be good or bad. If they're ready to fight and they get 4th level characters at the gate and they want to take it and just bring the fight to her, little they know 20 people have to die before they can actually fight her and kill her because she'll run off. Right? Over here, this also takes you to the queen's lair. She auto shows up. And then if you scroll down, I'm going to erase all this little tiny fun stuff, right? If we go into the next room, I have a star here, a star here. Those are for the half-mates. That's in room 5. There are mining tools here in case you want more gear for your players. There is an old safe room in 6. That's that area where they can hide. There's an ogre there that can be befriended. Do not forget how reaction rolls work. Make sure you're using those. Use it for the ogre. Use it for the groom even. If they have the wedding invitation, you should put it somewhere. I don't care where you put the wedding invitation. It could be on the dead woman's body. It could be in a basket of hands that they look through in room 3. It could be in the shelf next to the wand of magic weapon. I don't care. Just make sure they have the wedding invite, because then they can give that to the groom and that makes it easier to befriend him, right? Just something to think about. We talk about that in one of the side notes, but I want to say it now. Make sure you're putting that wedding invitation somewhere. It doesn't matter where they find it. More than one person has it. I would also make it look like spider webs, like doilied spider webs or something. Or like a chainmail invite, something fun. The floodgate, anytime you see the spider, that means there's a GM note. The floodgate, that shuts. You have to roll 1 twice. Once the second 1 is rolled, if water had filled from that first section, it'll blow these doors open finally. The pressure's too high. And then it gets really bad. The flood starts and starts chasing them through the place. Not hard. It's really not. The only changes I have, I fucked this up. That should be a 15, not a 14. Very simple for the DC, because DCs are 9, 12, 15, 18. Do not do one in between. It does you no good. Just ride those out. The odds are there for a reason. And then we get into the very final scene. This is a short adventure with a lot of stuff that can happen. Tell your players to search. Tell them to look stuff, but keep the pressure on, right? So, there is the groom. They can be won over and brought onto your side. That means that when you get to the river escape, and this is the only other change where I messed up, this here should be 16 hit points. Every hit point counts as a gear slot. Players or characters count as 4 gear slots. The boat can carry 4 people. It should be 16 hit points. The Sturger Ignatus is the last fight. That's the only map I didn't draw. Here's my reason for that. You should draw rocky sides, 30 foot wide by 60 foot long. Put your players in the center on a boat and move everything into the scene onto them like a stage, instead of trying to draw a 120 foot long map like you're playing Pathfinder or 2nd edition. Leave them there. Move the objects at them. Move, because they're all going to be around the boat. They can't get off it. So if the ogre is pulling the boat, put the ogre in front. If the groom is doing it, put him there. When the Ignatus comes in, that thing attacks light. It should jump and try to attack the light bearer. It's a big creature. It'll jump and attack them. If it misses, it'll come back and rock the boat to try to knock people off. It's not trying to eat them. It will attack if it's attacked, right? If it attacks, people are going to die. It does not attack the boat, but the fire lights, that will damage the boat. And skeletons, I guess, could, if you really want to sink the boat. Like, if you got time and you want to make things hard, fuck with them. Just have fun with it. I'm going to show you a couple of things over in the document, and then we're going to close this out. So, in here, I have a GM note for the groom. Important. Read over it. It's what it can do, how it works. He's a trap and help. The river escape, again, that should have been 30. It should be 16 instead. This should be 1, 6. Pretty simple, clean. Not hard to do. How I run it, there are 7 steps here, but this step here really is just a reminder, okay? It's not a final thing. 1, start of each round, roll a river mishap. Move that mishap onto that 30 by 60 foot thing you have with them in the center, and that is the piece you want to do. Whatever it is. If the queen shows up, the skeletons happen, the rapids happen, if a hole happens in the boat, if the javelin shows up, or if the torch flickers. Those are the things you do. All DCs are 15 unless otherwise said. Everything is a disadvantage unless they have the tools for it, especially if they're in the dark. I would like to remind people, if you have 3 advantages and 2 disadvantages, they wash out to 1 advantage. If you have 3 disadvantage and 1 advantage, they still only wash out to 1. Whatever has more is the one you end up with, okay? So you can stack advantage and disadvantage, and then you wash them down to whichever has more, and they'll be either a disadvantage or advantage. That is official from Kelsey. So if they have multiple disadvantages, it really gets hard to overcome. You need more than 1 advantage. Like, you need a tool and a background to overcome being in the dark, along with having no tools. Make sense? So, everything's disadvantage. All things are 15 unless otherwise said. That means like saves and stuff like that, or challenge rules. The Sturger attacks the light bearer. If they miss, they'll try to overturn the next round. Trap if they fall off the boat. Don't forget about the skeletons. Don't forget if they have Drim or if they have the groom with them. They will help. The boat, to paddle it, is a DC 15 in this river. With that said, they move near. It can be done twice. There's no oars, so if they make 4 oars, that means 2 people can be rowing, the other 2 can be aiding, or firing, or fighting, or whatever the fuck it is they need to do. The goal is to move 120 foot to the exit. So that means if they successfully roll 15s 4 times, with a disadvantage already stacked on them, and the torch goes out, you're seeing why I only made this really 4 successes that are needed. And they can leave people behind. Who cares? And then repeat the steps until all are dead or they get out. The fight gets bad. The oil here is important. It replenishes on a 2 and 6, so if they swim through and it's swimming around them and it's keep attacking the light and it's trying to do stuff, until they attack it. It will not attack them. But its scales scrape against the flint and light the oil on fire. So there's sparks on the wall. They can see where it is in this underground river. Down here, change this to 16. Again, same reason. And then you can just mark these as you go through. The last part, monsters. Everything in pink is really for the GM, just if you haven't figured that out yet. I did mark that the Ogre and the Web Maidens, the pages they're on in the Shadowdark book. If you don't have it, let me know. We'll get it for you. I just didn't want to put them in here. You should have this when you're running or have a PDF version. Just me. The Half-Maid. They are a level 2. They're dangerous, but not insane. They have egg sacs of heliotropes in them. I will tell you, if they're smart, after the first heliotrope explodes, they know that they're in there. They can use fire to stop them from bursting and the queen getting summoned, right? So if you burn those bodies. Burning them, up to you. Use a torch. Maybe there's a chance the torch goes out. Use a fireball. You use whatever. They should burn them, or the spiders will come out. Okay? Undead parts. This is what they have. When you roll for these guys, if you roll that 6, you get one of these. You get these crab clawy motherfuckers, right? These big crab claw with the leather hats, with the little tiny piece of glass, the candle in them. They're the half-made. They're undead. They have undead limbs. Shining Knights, when you encounter one, here's the wounds that are possible for them, right? Pretty simple. Heliotrope spiders, really not made to be fought. They just bite and flee. But if they fight them for some reason, stat block is there. The 8-legged queen. This is important. This piece here explains. She can move far in any of the purple maps. She can also scurry up to the cracks in the ceiling to get away and heals 3d6 hit points. Make the players roll it. Make them roll it. And then yellow parts of the map. She has a 1 in 6 chance each round to summon a heliotrope spiderling. So if she's fighting them and you're in the yellow section, there's a chance spiderlings just flock to her in the yellow sections because flood and water's there and they crawl onto her and they become a problem as well. Just remember there's a lot going on when she's in the room. Possible summons, and her goal is to steal people unless I tell you, as the overseer, hey everybody, the queen is here to stay. That means that she will fight to the death. She will no longer flee. What she does, though, is she tries to snatch someone with a web pole from far and run away. The 0-level character. If you're a 4th level and I trap you and bring you away, I'm going to kill you. You can fight, but you're going to be pulled in the dark if they want to chase after. Remember, she runs far. That's why you want those 2 maps. You get to move her back and forth. I find a lot of people getting pulled back to the beginning because she always runs them back to the pools. Super fun. Killer. Con DC 15. If the target was harmed or befriended her groom, she has advantage in all damage rolls. So if you harm the groom, or they're friends with the groom, all the damage you roll twice. You heard me right. She fucks people up and people die, and that's the point. Last and closing, here's your things you can track. Here's all your PC deaths, player deaths, in case you need to. Here's your survivors, and there's a little spot here in case you get an NPC out. I've never seen both make it. The last thing, if they encounter someone you want some story, here's a survivor tale area. You can have some information that happens to our brothers right here, so on and so on. This gives you the information you need to do more. Let me tell you the biggest parts of this, everybody. This is made to be fun. Have fun. Play the game. Pressure your players. But most of all, make the event as close to that 3-hour timer as possible. If something happens and they all sink and die there, they die. And the goal is to collect all the information because if we run the medium or the long later on, we're going to bring that information back to Gen Con and we're going to run the second part the next year and the third part maybe next year as well. But we're tracking these numbers so that this feels like a living event that we've done more than once. I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are. If you have questions, leave comments in the video or talk to me over in Discord. That's it for me. I'll see you guys all at Gen Con. All right. 21 minutes. That's better. I have got to go, though. So, everybody, thank you for joining me today. I got to pack all my shit up. I got to run across town and be there by 6. I don't have a lot of time. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you're already in my Patreon, I should probably do that. We have it already there for you. Where's my toe tags? So, I already did this. It's already up. You can find it over on my Patreon right now. You can download the PDF 1.6 as it is, make the error corrections that I already have here. This will eventually have 2 other sections, so there's 3 links to play. The last one is like 8 hours plus. I've ran that version 4 times. I have all of this mapped out, written, and done. I just want to play those last couple things a few more times. The goal is to always run a short session and do the beginning part, or run a medium session, run 2 parts, or run the long session. All of this is over on my Patreon. If you support me there, you can find it. When this comes out as a full PDF, if you're at the $5 level, you're going to get the free PDF anyway, just for helping support what the fuck I do. That is it for me today. This are the people who make all this possible. Thank you so much for that. I know this is a short one today, but I got to go run the 4th episode of the City of Slate. And oh, buddy, it's going to get wild tonight, and I hope my players enjoy it. That's it for me, everybody. Have a great one, and stay fucking rotten.